Hello, it's Thursday. Welcome to Empower Yourself TV, another YouTube Live. We missed you last week. I felt like a fish out of water. It
Exactly,
was
I
weird.
did too.
I was like, oh my God, but here we
Here
are.
we are. We
Imagine
back.
a whole, almost 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday.
Sorry about that, y'all.
But life goes on
Mhm.
in the midst and in spite of everything else. That's life anyway.
Right.
Taking breaks or
Yeah,
whatever.
you always need a break.
But we're happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here with us. So as you know, if you're following us, we're using this platform to encourage, uplift, to focus on quality of life, function, vitality. And today we want to talk about cleansing. I am a fanatic when it comes to cleansing.
She is.
And I think now I found out that that is the missing link.
Mhm.
I mean, there are no guarantees, but that's close enough to a guarantee for me, considering, what we're exposed to. Well, I'm buying organic as best as I can, what is
Right.
available. I don't know what the hell is in the food because I'm not growing it. But I feel good when I can go cleanse. Because that, for me, it's the only thing I have that I kind of feel that can somehow combat what it is I'm taking in. Not just from the food, but from the water and from the air. God knows. I just try not to focus on all of that stuff and to just do my due diligence. I'm Sonia, and this is
I'm Joy.
So I'm going to start off and then Joy is going to pick up. So like I said, I want to focus on the modalities, re-cleansing. And many of us are familiar with herbs as cleansing because that's from nature. And our passion is to beat the drum as it relates to vegetation. And that's also supporting cleansing. High water content food supports cleansing. Herbs supports cleansing because it's bitter. It's bitter and sour somehow. It's kind of an astringent somewhat. The lemons and the garlic and all these stuff that we're taking that doesn't taste good. But it doesn't taste good because it's meant to cleanse, to detoxify. And there's a big movement going on now in terms of detoxification and cleansing, and rightly so. I think we're coming to the awareness that is been missing in our protocol as far as, what we need to do to maintain health. So I want to talk about water being one, as we all know. Like I said, I don't know what water I'm drinking. The best water is probably coconut water.
I'd say, yeah.
If I were in the Caribbean, then I'll get that, because the sun infuses it and it has all the electrolytes and it's so...
That would be my go-to.
Yeah, mine too, but I don't really have that here. So I have a filter what I do is I put my filtered water in the sun
Mm-hmm.
because I get a glass container and it's out in the sun, and then I fill it up in the refrigerator. It really should be in a glass and not plastic, but when I put it in the refrigerator, the glass can't hold. But anyway, at
Mm-hmm.
least somehow I just feel that because everything in nature is fueled and nourished and it has these properties that the sun infuses.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel that somehow when I put the filtered water in there, the sun does its magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drink that and I take it with me.
Sorry about that.
One moment. That's not.
My phone. Wow. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not sure what just happened. My phone is totally off, so
Yeah.
my apologies.
No worries. It
Sorry.
happens. We step
Sorry.
in life because anything can happen. So let's just go with the
Why?
flow.
Because, like, my phone ain't even on. That's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
So we're talking about the
Hmm.
relevance of water as a cleanser, but it's also a food because our body is over 70% water. It's like 60, 70, 80, whatever. I don't know, but I know all our cells are in water. Heart is water, liver is water, kidney is water, pancreas. If you had to take those things out, it's all fluid.
Hmm.
So it lends to the idea that we have to support the body with more water. And the body carries oxygen and all this other good stuff that, it's imperative to well being. And one of the things I wanted to touch on as far as water is that the experts say that people will ask, okay, so how much water you need to drink? And I believe they say half your body's weight in ounces.
Hmm.
My thing is, it depends on what your diet is. Because, and this is why, if you're having a lot of fruits and vegetation, you're taking in water from the fruits and vegetation, and then you're going to drink half your body's weight in ounces. So you're getting a little bit more than. But if you're not, the majority of your food intake is not high vegetation, then I would suggest you drink more than half your body's weight in ounces. And this is what I mean. If breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between, because the in between is snacks and candy and, chips and all of that stuff, that's usually void of water. Or we're drinking the sodas, which is dehydrating because you're peeing out water, a lot of them, because of the caffeine. Then if you're noticing that that is what is happening in your body, then you have to drink more water than half your body's weight in ounces.
Hmm.
So to me, that's just common sense. You hear these things, but you have to also use your common sense and say, okay, half my body's weight, I'm just going to do 6 glasses or 8 glasses. But breakfast, lunch, and dinner and in between is all dried stuff. It's void of water. So we have to drink more water. But if you're having the fruits and the vegetation, then that's one less thing for you to worry about. So water
Yes.
is a crucial cleanser. The other thing I want to touch on as far as cleansing, we're underestimating exercise. And it's something that a lot of us don't like, and I don't even know.
I'm guilty. Sorry.
Always loved it, but now I love it more because now I understand what exactly it is doing in supporting function. Why do you exercise? It's not people exercising now because they want to fit in the dress.
Yeah. They're trying to lose
They're trying to look good.
they're trying to lose that shit, that waist.
They're trying to lose the waist, but I
I
don't
call
think
it
that's
shit.
why if we understand, because what we're trying to do is help you to make the connection. The connection is that if we think about what we're doing when we're exercising, we're sweating. We're moving lymph because the lymph has no pump like the blood does. The blood has the heart, the lymph has no pump. So this is why you have to jump up and down to help move the waste, because that is where the waste, the body's, what should I say? Whatever, garbage can.
Right.
When it dumps, it does all the processes and it's dumping the waste, the garbage, it goes into the lymph. But what we're doing is we're holding on to it. So we need to move it. And it helps with constipation. We're holding on to the waste too long, guys, which is why I'm big on the cleansing. The water helps to move the waste, and exercise helps to move the waste. Plus, more oxygen in. The more oxygen you get in, the more carbon dioxide goes out, and then that's support for well being. So, I've covered water and I've covered exercise. And exercise releases all of those, feel good hormones. So it's not just for physical, it's also for mental well being and emotional well being. So it's crucial, guys. You have to make friends with water and make friends with exercise. Because think about it. If you're not moving, and I believe if you look at a lot of these people who are, the blue zones, people who have longevity, part of, they might not be jumping up and like we do at the gym and running from, like we're Forrest Gump running from now till tomorrow. But they're in the fields, they're moving, they're doing the couch potatoism thing. It's anti-wellness.
That's Aries. I'm sorry. We can be couch potatoes.
Oh, you are?
Because that's part in my little zodiac.
Oh yeah.
Or natal.
Don't like.
My yeah, Aries can be they can be couch potatoes. So I think that's why.
Yeah, but when you make the switch though, Miss Joy, when you make the switch of how important it is.
I know. I'm
because
guilty.
of cleansing.
I can't lie.
To get rid of the waste. Because think about it, guys. And I want to talk about the stuff we take in, the toxicity, the food that's causing acidity, and it's mucus forming. I was reading today, like the ingredients in medication. You guys need to Google that stuff. Some of it is akin to the chemistry of our body. Because we do have, potassium, chromium, zinc, a lot of these other chemicals that are in pharmaceuticals. We do have that. But we have other stuff that's in it that is in opposition to us. Lead is one, arsenic is another, nickel is one, and we call it mercury is another. We call it heavy metal. I think we have I think the term is trace minerals. You need some of that stuff in your body, but at the level we are ingesting that stuff, it's too much. And that's what they put in a lot of this medication. And think about it, if you're on a medication forever. Because rest assured, you see, when you start on one medication, you're going to end up more of coming. It doesn't wear where you stop. It's rare right here where it stops. And not only that, I was talking to a friend of mine this week, and I said, when you start having elevated cholesterol or elevated sugar or BP, all three of them is like three sisters. Because they connect because of what goes on. So when you start on one medication, rest assured, because when you're taking the sugar and the pancreas stop working because it can't produce enough, it stop produce, you get resistant. The insulin just cannot convert the food to sugar to energy so you can use it. So it start to dump it in the liver. You get fatty liver and it dump it in the blood, triglycerides, which thicken the blood. So you start to get the heart pumping more to get the blood through all of the vessels. And a lot of that has to do with inflammation and toxicity. So we are trying to say, listen, guys, you don't have the luxury of not cleansing. There's no other recourse. And you cleanse with herbs. We know what the herbs are. And a lot of us in the Caribbean, we have no excuse. We can't go pick the herbs outside.
Let me move there.
Yeah, here, I mean, after seek out where to find that stuff. We know of the ginger and the garlic and all of this other stuff, but for those people who live off the land, I mean, there's no
No
excuse.
excuse. You
You
got it made.
we're adapting all this foreign lifestyle that don't you see the fruit on the tree?
And I kind of want to, not to cut you off, but I wanted to piggyback on that when you was talking about the hydration, the water, which we're going to go into that lemon detox. But when you was talking about the fruit, um, what did you say? You said, oh, how it was hydrating, like the fruits. And I just wanted to basically say, being on that lemon detox, I could tell the difference because when I'm eating more of the starchy, heavy type, vegan food, I'm swallowing the water. I'm constantly dehydrated. But as soon as I was on that 21-day detox, I didn't hardly have to drink no. And I did, I did grape juice or either grapes or I did watermelon juice. But with all those three fruits, I didn't have to drink hardly no water at all. And it blew my mind. I was just like, are you serious right now? And everything was clearing up, the issues that I was having, but I was so hydrated. I'm talking about from my skin. It was amazing. But anyway, we can talk. I didn't want to cut you off, but I just felt like I had to say that.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
And going back to what is in the food, the dyes, because we're not using natural coloring anymore. All of that is lab coloring that when it's absorbed, a lot of the times that coloring does not come out in your pee. I look at a lot of the coloring in foods, the M&Ms, the chips that kids eat.
The coloring in the meat.
The coloring in the meat, like salmon.
They putting coloring in the meat.
Yeah, for it to look like, the real thing. Well, for it to look bloody, I suppose. Yeah. Look like
fresh. Like fresh. They just cut it. Like they just cut it and just brought it to you. So it has to be like red, the blood.
That's true. But when you have it, if you notice, the pea don't come out with those colors. So I'm like, where is it locked up in the body? In the tissue and the cells over time. Because as kids can get away with that. I did that when I was younger. No, when you get of a certain age, you don't have the luxury of getting away with that stuff now because that's years of build-up, consistency over time, which is why when you get to your 35, 40,
that's when you start
to see
your check engine light.
Exit, with checking for this and the other stuff. So I want to talk about the dyes is one, the preservatives especially. I mean, I'll do some canned stuff, but I'll do it if it's just salt or water. If I see anything else in there that says preservative, that's not salt and water, I'm not having it. Because if it's in the food to preserve the contents of the food and I eat it, it's preserving whatever is in this body. Plus, it's a chemical that is foreign to my body. I don't really want to put we are trying to, and we want you to try to support the body. Work with the body, collaborate the body, collaborate with the body. Don't go against the body. So if something is not going to serve vitality and function, why are you having it and you have an alternative? I mean, are you that suicidal? Because that's where we are now. We're not thinking about what is it we're putting. Sure, everything is about pleasure because we're pain and pleasure beings, but that's pain and pleasure beings. Anything that feel good, because that's the only reason why we do anything, because we want to feel good. But at some point, you got to give up the feel good now for the feel good forever. Because it's not a good feeling when you have lost your dignity. And now we're accepting that this is normal. I'm not here to beat the drum of death and disease. I don't want to do that. We all know. When you get to a certain age and you look at where you are and you're eating the way you're eating and you don't feel good, the only thing that you have done all this time on the earth is to eat or stress yourself out. So if this is where we are and it's related to that, you can't expect that you're going to continue on that journey doing the same stuff and expecting another result. Right. We got to be honest with ourselves. And I came to that where, I'm like, I can't continue with this crap I'm doing. and nobody coming to save me.
Nobody but you.
I have to do the work. I have to
Mm.
take the responsibility, make friends with the work, make friends with the bitter taste, make friends with, we're going to talk about enemas, and I'm big on enemas. And this is why I've gotten big on it, because I've looked at the medical facilities. Cancer used to be, well, I don't know if it still is. It probably is. Every next person's been touched by cancer more than one time, or maybe you are going through it or you're in remission from it. There are people healing themselves of these diseases.
And I'm talking about like stage 3 and stage 4.
Oh,
Cancer
yeah.
gone.
Yes. Diabetes. We used to hear
Done.
that you cannot heal that stuff.
Such a lie.
And I'm like, experts tell you that stuff. And I'm like telling to myself, listen, these same experts are sick.
The sick can't heal the sick.
Come on. I have a family member. She's in a diabetic coma now, which I'm assuming that is the prognosis. She's a nurse for years. She's been whatever the word is, putting in insulin, which means the body's shutting down. And I'm not blaming you guys. It's just the information that we have acquired. We got to start to look at it. It is flawed.
It really is.
It's somewhere it's off.
Yeah, the insulin it's not helping nobody.
Yeah, because if you read the side effects of insulin or anything at all, it doesn't matter. Anything that is meant to be this thing that's going to help this thing is going to create multiple other things that now you have to go deal with.
But, not to cut you off, but maybe that's why people do go to the experts, is because they still want to eat the mac and cheese and the
I don't think they're just not conscious.
That too, but I still think they still want to eat that same stuff and then take the insulin, because the experts is telling them that it's going to balance it out. That's the balance for them. That's what they're telling them, so they can still continue. Nobody wants to do fruits and vegetables. It's boring. And I'm sorry, I'm being devil's advocate right now.
No, that's what we were told. It's not boring.
But that's I don't think so. But yeah.
The mindset is
nobody wants to nobody wants to switch over to they still want to do the insulin so they can eat the mac and cheese and the dressing and the turkey and the McDoodoo and Taco Hell. They want to eat out, still want to continue. They don't want to change their lifestyle. I'm just saying.
No, but that's true. It is hard for us to, that's just natural. We don't want, the body does not want to do no work. It wants easy breezy. And that's just we're born into that. We're born in a consciousness that is like, I was listening to this guy this week and he was saying that everybody is waiting to go to heaven.
Where is it?
But I'm just saying. Which means that you're not in heaven now.
That's what I'm saying.
I know you're in earth,
right,
but you're waiting. Right? But you're waiting to go somewhere. It's not only that. The thinking is that there is life after death. So what are we doing now? What exactly? I understand the whole.
So you think they're waiting to that after? It's gonna be better after, but not like now. Is that what you're saying?
That's what. Yes, what I'm saying. What they're planning. The mentality is that one day I'm going to go to a place where I feel no pain and I feel no this, but you can't do that now. Mm-hmm. We don't have to live this life of suffering and struggle and quiet desperation, because whether we like it or not, guys, we're contributing to our own demise. Mm-hmm. We're all going to leave here. Mm-hmm. One day we're going to leave here. But this thing is about overcoming the death.
And they tell you, too, that after you reach like 70, stuff starts going downhill. Your legs start giving out, and that's when you need the cane and the wheelchair and you need the false teeth. Because I've seen it with my grandparents.
Because that's the modeling.
And so if you take that on, of course that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Because I speak to a lot of people now. They're like, there are no guarantees. And,
you got to die something. Yeah, I hear that all the time. And I'm
Yeah.
so sick of hearing that.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we don't have to die of something. We just need to transition. Just
Mm-hmm.
drop this costume and move on. Just like the caterpillar. The caterpillar just come out of his whatever and then he's gone to fly somewhere. That's how we should transition from one state to
It's
the
cocoon.
next. But I think the point I'm trying to say is that if we acknowledge that we're living in a I don't have consciousness or a state, earth state that knows death. So it's easier to die and it takes effort to live. And what we are trying to say to you guys, living, which is here. You don't want to do the herbs, you don't want to drink the water. Just think about it. You don't want to exercise, you don't want to do all of these things because it's just so easy for us to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for us to think bad before we think good, to think optimistic, to think pessimistic before we think optimistic, which means that that probably is our nature.
Mm-hmm.
But we came into this, scripture said dispensation, where just like if you're a Christian, what Jesus came to do is to overcome and take out the sting of death, meaning that death don't have to have no power over you. Death just belong in this death of the body that is. Because you'll never die. I don't feel so. You just transition into another form.
Mm-hmm.
And
Into
this
a
is
different
why
dimension.
I know that to be true. Because there's a part of me that lives on. I don't know where it goes. I'm not worried about where it goes. But in this now moment and in this state, this earth school and earth realm, my responsibility is to support the temple, to do everything I can to collaborate with this body because the body needs the spirit to live on. But anyway, I'm deviating. So let's get back to the lubricants, the dyes, and
Cause we
to
30 minutes in, so
well,
yeah.
well, ever girl,
Time be
because last
flying.
week we
I
missed it.
know.
So anyway,
Yeah.
alcohol is one of the things that I want to speak about. I used to have that. Now I don't. We used to have alcohol made from just fermented from pure fruits. No, it's not that anymore. I don't know for 100%, but a lot. Just like marijuana, the quality of marijuana people are having now is, it's spiked. They have other stuff in there, which is
Yeah,
why
they
we
adding
want to
stuff.
kill off ourselves and get at, when these ads talk about, it might give you hallucination and suicidal thoughts. I'm like, why the hell are you taking something that's going to alter that? It don't even make no sense to me. So alcohol, I know it's mixed with ethanol. When you go to the gas station and you pump that gas, look on the writing on the gas. It says ethanol. I am not saying don't have alcohol, but you can't be having alcohol every day.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make no sense. Cumulative alcohol over time.
Especially if you're trying to heal the
If you're
body,
trying to
and
heal
if
the
you're trying to
water.
heal your
If you
body,
have
like
any pain at all, you're inflamed, you're toxic, there's
stay away.
acidosis, you're not healthy. And I can speak to that because I used to do that. Everything used to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Joints, knee, headache, can't go to the toilet. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired of it all. And then I decided, you know what? I have to go save myself. And it was when I made the switch that the information is producing this and my action is producing this. So it can't be that I continue with the same information and the same actions and expect a different result. And now I'm holding myself accountable to the commitments that I now make. That, okay, this is what I say I want, this is what it requires. You want to go to med school and you want to be an engineer, you want to be a nurse. This is what it requires. You have to go study. You have to go to class. You have to do practical. And we commit ourselves to that because this is what we want. And then we nickel and dime health.
Our body, our
We nickel
temple.
and dime
When
our
we're in this body
yeah.
like the whole time.
And if
we
you don't have your body, you realize that nothing else matters. When you're sick,
that's it.
When you're sick, that's when you know. Or when you're undying,
Mm-hmm.
everything is in perspective. You're not worrying about the degree and the car and the wife and the husband and the children. You're worrying about your health and healing and recovering. And that's the time when we get on our knees. And the other thing that's a kicker to me, and I used to do that. I'm not here judging you, but I have that mentality where we used to eat the crap and then we're praying to Jesus and praying to God for healing.
That
Come
don't
on,
make no
man.
sense.
What you think God is? No, really. And then the thinking is that, it must be God's will. That's the other thing. God's will is that I wish for you all to be in good health and prosper like your soul prospered. That is a scripture. The priority is that you be in good health. That is His will. His will is not to be diseased and sick and ill. That's not His will. So that is your will because you're doing the actions to support that. We'll blame the enemy. What enemy? I am the enemy.
You are the enemy.
I am doing the stuff. Who is telling me to go eat the stuff that's not supporting health? Something in my head is telling me that. Or I am so enslaved to this thing that I have to have it. And then you think, I think a lot of time is it's our belief. We really don't believe that we have the power and the body has the intelligence to restore.
We don't believe it at all. And it starts once your little baby start going to school. That's what they teach them,
And what I know a belief is a thought you keep thinking over and over and over.
They want us to believe
again.
In the system.
It's like I was talking to my mom today because my mom have diabetes, cholesterol, tons of stuff, And I had to rock her up and I said, Mommy, listen, you just cannot, she's doing well. She had a stroke. She walking every day, pushing herself to walk. And then as we have this sweet addiction in the family, and rightly so. When you grow up poor, you eat a lot of carbs, So anyway, whatever. Plus it alters.
Then with us being melanin,
we love sugar.
Yeah, it's once we get a hold of it.
Black people love starch.
We do.
That's innate because of our melanin. We love the sugar and the feel good.
Take off.
And then we come from a situation where we have all these emotional issues because we didn't get no love from home.
The diabetes.
The
diabetes.
And that's what they say, diabetes.
Or you don't receive enough love.
So there's a spiritual connection to why we have these diseases and where we have our pain. And that's something we enjoy, kind of because we're in the spa industry. The meridians and the chakras and, everything is in the spiritual first. There's a connection between the spiritual and the physical. And a lot of it, the root of it is from the spiritual. And then the body just manifests it. Because the body is like a puppet. It goes wherever, it is. But anyway, so I said to my mom, she said, no, she developed this drinking of Milo and crackers. I said, Mommy,
what is that?
That's sugar and sugar. So I said to Mommy, you have diabetes. You're not on insulin, but think about it. She never used to have it in her, so now she developed it. I said, Mommy, can you cut up some coconut? Can you cut up some apples since you want? Because my mom will stop eat at a certain time. And I think one of the reasons why she has done so well is because from I know her, after 3-4 o'clock, my mom don't eat until 9 o'clock the next morning.
So she's really doing. But
she's doing. She has, and I didn't realize, and that's another thing that's cleansing. Fasting. That is the number one. You get sick and you want to repair, stop eat.
Stop chewing.
Just stop eat. You get to that place and you're not gonna die. I have a friend this morning said that he might have COVID and
you actually better.
And he's like, what am I going to eat? I'm
eating?
like, listen, you don't need to eat. The body cannot digest and repair at the same time. And we've spoken that before. When you have the flu, what does it do? You lose your appetite. The body says, listen, lose the food. So it can
the body's that intelligent.
Because it can go into repair and regeneration and healing and do all of that stuff. So we have to support the body. So I said, Mommy, you just cannot have that. Just figure out an alternative. Because the thing is, we're not even dying. I mean, the young people are dying now. The blood clot and the heart attack and the cancer.
Babies are dying.
But the old people, they're living longer, but they are sick. They have
Yeah, and like,
lost their
why you on?
dignity.
Yeah,
You have to
you
be
can't.
clean. You don't
Yeah, you in a
remember. You
nursing
can't
home.
move. Your toe missing. Your foot gone. You lose your
That is not
eyesight. You're
living.
blind. And I said, Mommy, you're 75, 76 this year. You can live longer. Do you want, and she's very independent. Do you want to live having people come and help you wipe? Because I
Wipe
know
your
it wipe your
ass.
ass. And not only that, she has six of us. All of us have our own lives. I know she doesn't want to feel like a burden. And out of that, I'm figuring I don't want to be a burden on my children. So I'm making sure that that's not going to be my demise and my future. So I'm already looking at my future thinking that, I gotta be more responsible about how is it I am stewarding this body.
Mm-hmm.
And the stewarding have to start with the belief system. We have to change how we think about food. We have to somehow start to change the narrative that's being fed to us about what exactly is fuel. Because obviously what you're eating is not fuel because you're sick and diseased. And then they're giving you something. This is the
To
other
put a
ridiculous.
band-aid on it.
That's in the band-aid. They're
And know
giving you
it's
a
going
poison
that, and then that
to heal
scab's
you.
up under there. So once you pull that band-aid off and that scab, it's still there. Like it's not. It's just temporarily, and time will tell that consequence. It's something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then and behind that, even further, is that you might have went in for diabetes, but hell, you might come out with 3 or 4 more different things on top of that.
Eventually, yeah. But anyway, I
I
just
know.
was feeling a
Sorry.
little passionate today
Sorry,
about
my
because
friend.
this week is pure hard luck 6 stories. I'm like every week is somebody in the
You done
hospital,
had it
some
bad this week.
constant, somebody
Whew.
with blood clot, somebody with cancer, somebody dying, and this is what I even notice, especially with cancer and sick. There is no way you get a diagnosis or a prognosis for this disease and you're still eating the stuff that you were eating before that caused it. Come on, man. You're diabetic. You cannot have the fake sugar and the high starch. You gotta value your body more and yourself more.
I had a cousin. She was really super light skinned, light, way light. I ain't saying I'm light, but she was light, and that radiation and chemo. I mean, she was so dark. I couldn't even sit there and like watch her eat. And then I brought vegan stuff. I'm not even sure she even ate it. She ate all the other stuff like the ribs and I don't know what was there that day, mac and cheese. I didn't even look at it, but it was stuff that she shouldn't have been eating. And she just, I mean, you could tell death was knocking on her door, like, and she still didn't listen to nothing I said. So I mean, what do you do, But
You can't do
you can't do
anything.
anything. But this
Your job is to
it's
just,
just it's painful though.
of course,
Especially
because you know you don't have
you
to be
don't have to be
that
there.
way,
Yeah.
and especially now with all the results of people healing themselves,
And that makes it even worse.
that make it even worse.
That
You
I
don't
know
have
that
to
people
live.
like it can just can leave the body, and then you have to suffer like that. And then you got probably shouldn't say this. Who is it? Who's the people that come in? I call them killers at the last minute. With
The experts, more
no,
experts.
yeah, but it's a name from them. I forgot who it is at the end of the. Like when they die, I forgot who comes in. It's somebody that comes in that gives them like the morphine and
let them feel good.
I forgot it's the name, but I don't know. I can't even think of it now. But they say because they're in pain,
The
give them.
anesthesiologist.
No, it's I don't know. I can't even think. I just probably because I'm not supposed to be talking about it, but it's like they come hospice.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, hospice comes in and they make them feel better.
The first level of
and then it's like I don't know if anybody's ever been with a loved one before they they transition, but it's like taking that they call it the what is it? It's not the last. Well, they say last breath, but it's another term they call it. But it's basically they suffocating in their own waste, and I didn't know that because I had been around a couple of my great aunts when they passed away. And now that I know how the body works and like that morphine ain't helping them transition, they're in pain still. They're suffocating, and I don't ever want to have to go through that ever again. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so traumatic.
Yeah.
But yes, I forgot it's a term that they say when they're taking their last breath. I
Yeah.
forgot what it's
But
called. But anyway,
we're
so
saying that to say, guys, there is an alternative.
it is.
And I have proven it in my own life
Mhm.
and people I know who have started that journey.
Mhm.
And the key part of it, we gotta cleanse. So herbs one, exercise the other, water is the other, high water content fruits is the other. And then there's a herb here that it's sourced from Mother's Earth Herbal
Her
Cleanse.
little
I sell it. Yeah. And
nurse blessings.
it has a whole lot of different herbs in there. So even if this is the basic you take, and it doesn't have to be this, but do you want to research and get some cleansing herbs? Get something that's going to clean out the toxins and clean out all of that waste. And we got to be very diligent about going to the toilet. If a day pass, don't make a 2 days pass and you're not going to
Mm-mm.
the toilet. Go
Get this,
find something to go to the
get you, and
toilet.
there's plenty of teas, and Sonya has the teas here where it can even help you if you even have an
Yeah,
issue
this
with
is
that
not
you can
really
drink.
forgot yet to.
Not that one, but this
Yeah,
one
the
is.
Cascara Sagrada,
Yeah.
Senna is another one. We have other stuff that you guys, especially if you're in the Caribbean, just just make sure that if you get up or you eat anything and you're bloated, you know when you're bloated, you're not going to go to the toilet. Get that stuff out. You get that stuff out because what it does is it has, especially if you're having meat, because meat come in decayed already,
Mm-hmm.
which means it start to have these things, these microbial, bacterial stuff on it already
Mm-hmm.
in your system that's creating its own colony of other stuff in there that's doing something
They gonna
else.
move the whole family in. The parasite
Exactly.
and worms. They got their little
So if
children,
that's
their
what
little
you're doing, just
luggage.
move the crap out of your intestines. And not just with the herbs, but we are here to help you guys to get used to enemas. People don't want to put anything in their butt, especially men, but I guarantee you, if that was the root of healing for this now called virus we're experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be running to the bathroom to take it. You'd push anything up in anywhere of your body to go cure yourself to make sure that you don't get this virus. So I'm saying just do it for your own well-being. Clean out the crap out of your intestines.
Mm-hmm.
Fruits and vegetation, transition time is quicker. But when you eat the high starch and the grains and the meat, transition time, meaning from the point of entry to the point of exit, it's too long. Get it out. After you digest it, most of the digestion is in your mouth, then the absorption is in the stomach, then the assimilation and all of that stuff is in the intestines, and then it moves where it's holding, and it's gonna hold there until if it's not high fiber and it don't have the water and you're not moving with exercise, it's going to sit there. What is in fact sitting there? Waste. The very thing that we turn up our nose at when we go to the toilet. And this is why I know that that stuff is not good for you. If you're stinking, why is anything stinking? Because it's decaying. Why is it decaying? Because you have these parasitic, bacterial, whatever stuff that is doing their own things, secreting their own gases after them digest that stuff. When the bacteria is eating up the waste that your body don't have no use for, it eat that stuff, it burp, and then it fart, and that's the smell that come out when you go into the toilet. I know that when I eat anything and it have anything animal product in there, I'm smelling. So now I'm so vigilant because I don't want to stink. And this is something I have to tell you. You see, when you start with the fruits and vegetation and water, you do not smell. You don't need no roll on. You don't need no spray. chemicalizing the environment, so you breathe
And
that thing
you
out.
can go pretty much all week not eating bad.
I remember when I used to
Sorry, I'm
stink,
just saying.
I'd go into the toilet and then light a match because the sulfur killed the smell. You don't have to do all of that crap. The only time I have to do that is that if I eat something, even with the say organic, and I'm looking at the ingredients, when I eat that stuff, I know that this is a lie because there's nothing natural that smell. However you put it in your mouth, it should pass out in your body the same way.
And it's funny that you said that. I'm being on this detox. I experienced that. I remember I called you. I told you it was the papaya.
Yeah.
I ate some papaya and I shit it the next day and my butt smelled like papaya.
That's what it's supposed to be. I remember when I did that
I was
14-day
just like,
fast.
I gotta hit the little thing for that.
I start the week off.
Papaya. That's what it smells like, papaya.
It's just like when a baby eat. When a baby eat and they poo, a lot of the times, if it's vegetable, it smell like the greens and it look green. That natural color of when they eat, the poo look like that. Now we're eating all of this dyed food and the poo don't even look like that. Which means that it is in the lining of all that mucous membrane holding on to that fake coloring. And the pesticide and insecticide and the nitrite and the nitrate and all of that stuff is being collected, and the trace minerals that is being held up in our bodies, and we're not cleansing. Help the body to clean that crap out.
So with you saying that, so what about mothers that are like breastfeeding? So if they're not eating, if they're not giving their body the nutrients.
I mean, the baby already sick.
Yeah, and then too, like, what about their poo? Their poo shouldn't smell. Like,
you mean the babies?
Yeah.
Because whatever
but if the mother's
is
eating, then it's going to come through the child.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Of course.
Wow.
Because if it's the breastfeeding, whatever she's, because food is building blocks, whatever she's building her body with, that's what the baby is going to build its body with. So that's why we have more sick babies, and then they're loading them up with all of this, whatever the word is.
And then they give them medication. I didn't even know that. Like when they have issues with certain things, like if they're constipated and stuff, they will literally give them medicine and tell them that it's okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean get off subject, but we're going to talk about mothers and babies and children.
And for those, just they brought it up. For those women, because a lot of African Americans are suffering. I don't remember young women having issues with fertilization. It is chronic now. It's almost like an epidemic. You reach a certain age and you're having issues. Listen, guys, you want to impregnate yourself? Change the diet. Change the lifestyle. Heal the body.
Because it will repair.
It will repair itself. You start, because not only that, you don't even want a compromised egg and a compromised sperm to merge together into an embryo and bring forth a child. That's a sick child.
And it's not just the mamas. The daddies contribute
as well.
They planting the seeds, so they need to cleanse too. And we not on them enough.
We didn't have those issues with fertility. Where's that coming from? The only darn thing we're doing is eating.
It's the eating all this processed stuff.
It's not working. So we have to look at the fruit of the tree and stop fooling yourself that it's going to get better, going to the export and taking more poison. Don't you see it not working? Right. I don't even get that. Make the connection, guys. And I'm telling you, it does work. Clean out the intestines. Do enemas. Where's the enema bag? This is clay, and we do clay.
And it's clean, y'all.
Because clay has magnetic properties.
You can get these.
And people talk about
Walgreens and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch it.
No, you're fine. So we'll do 4 teaspoons or tablespoon of this. You blend it up.
And this is what it ends up looking like. Put it in the jug. That's what I do. I do 7 of them, like for once a week.
And you can do lemon. A lot of the
you can do lemon. I've done lemon and garlic.
Yeah, I've done coffee because I know in the cancer clinics, a lot of people are being healed. They do, and you can research that. This is not stuff I'm making up. They're healing themselves with coffee enemas. So if there's no truth to it, that's
Then
and
put
not
them on
only
tip.
that, then not the when once you're diagnosed, the thing is they're getting off of the meat and the animal products. That is always the protocol. They're going to vegetation, hydration, oxygenation, and cleansing. So if that's working for disease, I mean, why are you going to wait till you get the diagnosis? I remember I went to Jamaica and I was talking to this girlfriend of mine, and I was saying to her, I'm not interested in taking no, what do you call it? Um, Whatever
Oh,
for
mammogram,
mammograms and
mammogram.
all of that stuff and go check this and the other stuff, especially after I did my numbers and my cholesterol was elevated, diabetes, arthritis, all this crap that everybody's having when you reach to a young age, like I was.
Well, they told me because my mom had breast cancer that I needed to get
That
one
you're going to get it what?
because
And I
she.
understand the point
Mhm.
of it, prevention is that's part of prevention. Excuse me, hold on. But my attitude was to assume that this is my diagnosis. I'm assuming that I already have diabetes. I'm
Mhm.
assuming that I'm already um hypertensive. I'm assuming that I'm already cancerous. I'm assuming that I'm already all these diseases we have. And I am taking it, okay, if this is what my diagnosis, what would I change? And I'm just working it backwards
Mhm.
because I am assuming that this is what I have already. And the assumption is when you look at people who are hearing of some kind of news that is going to probably take them out, what is it that change? Less stress if the husband or the wife causing it, they're
Mhm.
out or they work on it. They try to figure out where to move closer to nature by the beach, massage, more pampering, then you change. I don't know if anybody who has been diagnosed with cancer and them still they don't make a change towards vegetation. Maybe it exists. I have never met anybody, but everybody I've met, they're gone straight to vegetation. And if
Mhm.
that wasn't so, or they try natural. But the natural thing is that what is missing from natural is that you're taking all these natural pills and the herbs and whatever, but you're not eliminating. You're
Mhm.
not cleaning out the crap.
And then too, another thing we got to be careful too, and I guess we can talk more about now. They're starting to get like vegan butchers and the whole process
Processed
because
vegan
they know
food.
people now is starting to go towards plant based food now. So even that
There's a
stuff you
rise.
can't break that stuff down either, and you can still have the cancer. And because I know a lot of people that are vegetarian, which I don't know if y'all know, but vegetarian still eats dairy. They still do
And
cheese
eggs.
and eggs. So, but I'm like, it even further people that's vegan, like even if you still, take in the processed vegan, like the little fish fillets, the stuff that is not even what it is. But it's just to get you over to that because they still want our money to buy that type of stuff, but we're still doing harm to our system. So we need to talk about that more too.
Yeah,
But
switching one
because
process for another process.
like what, and you'll soon will find out that processed vegan, those little fillets and steaks, and now they got wings now, cauliflower wings. I'm like, why can't they be cauliflower bites? Why are they wings? But we can talk more.
The association, like
Yeah,
leave the
like
fish behind. If
yeah,
you
leave it all that
leave the meat
alone.
behind, just don't have that in your psyche, because that's
Mm-hmm.
not what it is. It is
Mm-mm.
plants
It's
and it's
plants,
vegetable.
it's vegetables.
Don't try to call it nothing else. It's not a burger, or maybe no, where you got veggie burger, just for you to understand. The
Mm.
sausage, that's all from the old. The Bible
Yeah,
talks
let
about
that
that.
go.
Be renewed by the transforming your mind. Put away old things. That's old. If you say this is what you want to do, just suck it up, man. It is what it is. That is not food. Let's focus on food. Food
Mm-hmm.
is fuel. It's energy. It has information that connects with the information that's here, so it can do what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the enema. This is Clay.
We got what's
I,
name?
I,
We 2 more minutes. We gonna be an hour, y'all. Sorry. We trying.
but anyway, you can do 4 lemons.
We'll talk
Add your
about that
warm
in the
water.
next.
Yeah,
we
we'll
can talk
probably
about it. We're
continue
gonna
next year
continue
because
because
I don't
feel
want
like
to
it's
keep
still
you on.
yeah because it's still more stuff
Still
I
kind
feel
of
and I don't want to rush
it.
and I
Okay.
think this is a really good subject. Like I feel like we've gotten a lot out today that still need more stuff that we need to talk about, but I still want to kind of like
Okay, we'll
yeah,
save it
I
for
just
next time.
don't want to rush
Because knowing me,
it.
for all the people who know me, I can talk from now
We
till tomorrow.
Cause this is our baby, like it's what we live,
Because
and
it's
we
exciting.
we want to help heal. Like we want people to know that there's another alternative. Don't believe that old stuff. Like change it. You can really empower yourself and heal yourself, and you're just amazing. You know. And we just want people on board and to get on the ship with us. It's moving, but everybody ain't gonna make it. But we want you to make it.
Of course. So, we just don't want you to lose your dignity, to suffer, especially if you're doing it to yourself, whether it's consciously or ignorance, or a lot of us are just disobedient. We don't want to change, but the more you do it, because you're creating new pathways, new habits, because we're just all these patterns and habits and memory. That's what we are. But we can create new patterns and new habits and new memories that's in alignment with just quality of life, man. Anyway, y'all, it was our pleasure. I know I got a little passionate there.
That's okay.
So
that's okay, friend.
No, because I'm just tired of hearing of the hard knock sick story. I'm getting immune.
You had a bad week though too,
like
so
getting
I'm sure
immune to hearing. It's like, don't call me and tell me about no sickness. But I'm empathetic and I'm compassionate, and I'm like, okay, guys, it doesn't have to be this way. Anyway, y'all, till next time.
We'll see y'all next Thursday. Ashe. Hey.